Have you ever realized that all of the decisions we have made so far in our lives have been based off of either fear or love? One or the other is always dictating the decisions we make and the actions we take. Let's dive a bit deeper.
Your mind is prepared to go to great lengths to convince you to stay in your comfort zone. Let's start this episode with a story time. So back in 2018, when I was working as a physiotherapist and I wanted some change, I applied to this cabin crew training course. Put my application in and I waited about 2 or 3 months before the course started. During that 2 or 3 months, something happened in my mind. I was trying to take this leap of faith, leaving my old job behind, starting a new one in a completely different field I had no previous experience in, and I kind of had to just trust that everything's going to unfold very well. Even if I wanted to trust that everything's going to go well, my mind was not on the same page with me. My subconscious mind was trying everything in its power to keep me in my comfort zone, to tell me, oh, this is the wrong choice, don't make this leap of faith, you're not going to make it. So, never in my life had I been afraid of flying. I had never had fear of flying. But when I applied to this cabin crew course, I got this irrational fear that the fear of flying might just one day land on me. I started fearing that I would get fear of flying, which is like so irrational because never in my life I had been afraid of flying. I still wasn't. I was fearing that I might get fear of flying because that would mean that that's the worst case scenario in this case because I had left my old job behind. I was about to start a new one, and if I had had the fear of flying, that would have destroyed everything. That would have meant that I lose my job. I would have to quit my new job before it even started. Then I would have no job, no home soon. I would go live on the streets. I would get depressed. Everything's going to go downhill. My mind was trying to convince me with this story that don't take the leap of faith. Stay in your comfort zone. Don't take the leap of faith. It's too dangerous. It's too much in the unknown. I don't like it. But if I had listened to that voice inside of my head, if I had listened to this, I would not be here today. I would not have a podcast, I would not have a YouTube channel, I would not have a business in well-being, I would not be filming workout videos, I would not be doing anything that I'm doing today. I would still be stuck in my old job, probably. I did not listen to the worst case scenario. I just persisted and I knew that I'm going to do this leap of faith, I'm going to start this new job and everything's going to go well. Even if this story was repeating in my head, in the back of my head, like for maybe 2 months or so. And when the cabin crew training course started, the fear just vanished because I had took the leap of faith. Everything went well. And I could convince myself that, okay, I'm in the unknown now and I'm staying here. I think that's a very interesting example of how your mind works sometimes. And if you can recognize this pattern, then you can kind of detach from the fear a bit. You can let it be and you can base your actions on what you truly want to do, not base them on fear. Sometimes your mind comes up with the craziest thoughts, even like those irrational thoughts that you know are not reality, you know they are not true, and they are most likely not going to become true, but still your mind insists on feeding those thoughts to you in hopes of keeping you in your comfort zone. I just wanted to share this with you to kind of give you an example of how your mind works when you're trying to do something new and when you're trying to overcome those fear-based thoughts. The key is to persist through those fear-based thoughts and kind of not give them too much attention. Not let them dictate how you behave. As much as we like to think that in our lives, when we have to make a decision, we have different reasons behind making a certain decision. When we dig deeper, we understand that it always comes down to 2 things and 2 things only. 2 different reasons. We have love and we have fear. So we have love-based actions and fear-based actions. All the other feelings and emotions, when you dig deep enough, they come back down to love or fear. I'll give you some examples on fear-based thoughts and actions. For example, in exercising, you might be over-exercising in fear of not being good enough, not reaching your goals fast enough, not making it to your goal, so you're pushing through, pushing hard, trying to really make it happen. Because you're afraid that you won't make it happen. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of maybe gaining weight. You're afraid of something which makes you push hard and try even harder, over-exercise and do things that are harmful to you. Another example of fear-based thoughts and actions are procrastinating and avoiding things. So maybe you have a fear of failure, you have a fear of being seen, you have a fear of not being good enough, you might have imposter syndrome, for example. That's why you procrastinate, you avoid doing things, because in the root there's always some kind of fear. For example, in nutrition, people usually start to restrict their eating because they fear that they're going to gain weight, or they fear that they're not going to make it to their fitness goals if they don't be very strict with their nutrition. Also, being judgmental towards yourself and others, being impatient, underachieving, all those different kinds of actions and thoughts and beliefs are based on fear. If you don't realize this, your whole life is going to be based on fear. You might be doing okay, you might be feeling happy sometimes, but the underlying root cause behind all of your actions and decisions is going to be fear. You can change the whole trajectory of your life when you realize this and you change your ways. Let's have a look at some love-based decisions and actions. For example, in nutrition, instead of restricting your eating, you add more good things to your diet. You love yourself and you want to add more good things to your life. For example, you eat more greens, you drink more water. You feel at ease because you're not restricting anything, you're adding good things. That's a simple trick, but it's huge on the mental side because you feel much less stressed. In physical activity, it would look something like you do some exercise and you rest. You listen to your body, you do exercise and workouts that feels good to you. You don't overdo, you don't push yourself too hard. But again, you approach the subject from I love myself, from the place of love, and you act accordingly. Love-based actions, beliefs and thoughts also look like being non-judgmental towards yourself and others, being patient, being understanding, being loving, being accepting, not beating yourself up over anything. Even if you take a step back or you feel like you're slipping, you don't beat yourself up. You accept the situation and you try again. So what I want you to do after watching this video, I encourage you to take a look at your own life. When you go about your everyday life, and you have different kinds of thoughts, you do different kinds of decisions and actions, watch yourself and ask yourself, is this thought, belief or action based off of love or fear? What's the driving force behind that action or thought or belief? I like to ask myself, is it love talking or is it fear talking? And it's very easy, once you start practicing this, it's very easy to distinguish which one it is. And then once you realize which one it is, you can start changing it. You can start changing the narrative in your mind. And that's where your true inner power lies. Use it. Like if you had to give me a percentage now, like how much of your thoughts are fear-based and how much of your thoughts are love-based, what would that percentage look like? Would it be 50-50? Would it be 90 and 10? Would it be something in between? That's also a powerful question to think about. Remember, whatever you do in life, always keep your smile and faith bigger than your fears. Bye!